When we first started as a company, we pretty much lived off of developer programs. Specifically, Nokia developer program was fantastic for us when we first started out. Through the years, as we've grown as a company, they've actually been really important. We had a really good relationship with Qualcomm's developer team, which helped us get first, or at least one of the first, free-to-play titles onto Verizon's feature phone deck. So we were actually, because of that relationship, able to knock off Tetris and take over the top grossing slot on Verizon's feature phone deck. And that was, almost entirely because of our good relationship with their developer program and getting early access to that AVB SDK. Nowadays the platforms, developer programs are very well developed and so advanced. The documentation is fantastic. The forums are good. Just with the latest platforms, we're just really impressed with the developer programs. They're really a great source of information, so we use those as much as we can.
I'm probably a member of every developer program at some point, just from having developed apps for so many years. Certainly, there's always hiccups in the road. So you're building something and you encounter questions, or you're doing a use case that's never been done before. In the case of Calendar, we're really pushing it to the metal in terms of what you can do with Calendar on an iPhone. And so with that, absolutely, we have leveraged support forums within developer programs to assist in answering those hard questions. But at the same time, oftentimes the best resources are colleagues or more public sites like Stack Overflow, etc., as opposed to developer forum itself. I mean, really, it's where the developers hanging out, because each other sort of supports each other in a community sort of standpoint. There's been instances where we've emailed the platform directly, but it sort of has to meet a certain bar before we do that sort of threshold.
When we look at developer programs, we look to see, first of all, do our users use the data that those programs provide? And then B, is it, if we did integrate into a program, would that give us a new set of users?
Like, developer programs are very important. There's the ones that come from the manufacturers. I think that's all developers that are serious about making mobile apps need to register on the specific manufacturer platforms and get it straight from the horse's mouth. Then there's also the platform developer programs, which probably more of a broadcast medium. Say coming from like Apple, Google, and BlackBerry and Microsoft. But those are also important to follow on through too.
I mean, developer programs really run the gamut, and that the developer programs, range from everything from, hi, we have a web page, and that look at our cool products, and that all the way up to, dedicated support boards and custom SDKs and, all those sorts of stuff, developer program focused events and the like, and that the, what's worked, if you've got a custom SDK and that you're creating an SDK add-on for Android or some sort of a helper library or whatever, and that clearly getting that out works. What doesn't work is when you publish those things and the license terms are, it would be difficult for anyone legitimately to agree to the terms, and that you got to make sure that those terms are something that developers will work with. Having dedicated support boards is cool, and that particularly, if you're staffing them and that you've got your experts there to answer them, but then we need to make sure that those can get publicized, and that not everybody is going to realize that, developer.whateveryourbrandis.com, and that's going to have any of that sort of resources, and that they will tend to flock to locations that are better known for support, such as Stack Overflow. And that in fact, some manufacturers in that with their developer programs have actually started using Stack Overflow. They monitor certain tags, and we make sure that those questions get tagged with those so it hits the radar of those programs. Events are always nice, but they only reach a certain number of people, and then sometimes only a certain geographic area. And so mixing the live and the virtual, and that would certainly be able to get you to a broader range of Android developers.